Dudes and dudettes, how are you guys? This is Chazzy and welcome back to Telechaz, the segment on this show, on this channel, where I can talk about shows that I watch on TV, you know, on Netflix and stuff, you know, whatever streaming services out there. And today I'm going to be talking about something that I honestly think is very underrated. And the reason I say underrated is because I don't see too many people talking about it. You know, I don't know if it got a lot of positive reviews, and it wasn't renewed after the first season. It was canceled after just one season, so I guess it wasn't as successful as I would have hoped, you know, but I still really enjoyed OA. Yes, it's just called that, OA. It's a Netflix, it's on Netflix right now and you guys can watch it. You know, it's only 10 episodes, one season, and it's about a mission crew that is entitled to go to Mars to try to be the first people to set foot on there, you know, and it shows them going through their tribulations, you know, on Earth before they launch on the mission. And when they actually do get there, there is a lot of trepidation, there's a lot of trouble going around there, you know, because space is a very scary thing, guys. I do love space. I have talked about this before in the past. I love it a lot, and this show was right up my alley because of this, you know. And I also starred Hilary, who's one of my favorite actresses ever, you know, and a few other name actors as well whose names elude me, but the prime focus to me was Hilary. You know, she was definitely the best one there, no doubt about that. And we do see a lot of different character dynamics play out throughout the series, you know, because we have a few different characters. Let me see if I can remember their names. It's been a while since I've watched it. Usually these reviews come out a while after I finish the series. No, it's very rare for me to finish a series and immediately record a review because I have other content to put out, you know. But okay, so there's Emily, who's the commander, right? Then there's Ram, who's an Indian medic, who's second in command. Then we have Kwesi, who's the new guy, you know, who's he's really weird because he's Ghanaian British. He's from Ghana, but he was raised by British parents, so he's both of them, you know. Then we have Lou, who is the first Asian to go to Mars, you know. She's I do believe, okay, look, I'm gonna have to read because I have the little cheat sheet here, but I don't want to butcher this, you know. But let's start off from the top. Emma, who's the commander. Okay, we have Matt, who's her husband, you know, but he's not the one on the mission. Lou is the chemist. There we go. Lou is actually the chemist and the only Asian in the team. Then we have Misha, who's the Russian cosmonaut and also the engineer, and he's the most experienced one there. Then we have, again, Kwesi. Okay, so he's a Jewish British Ghanaian botanist, so he is also the botanist as well. And then we have Ram, who is the medic. Okay, and then we also have Lex, you know, who is Emma and Matt's teenage daughter. There are a few recurring characters too, but if I talk about them, it's going to take too long. But the main characters, we have a very strong family dynamic between Emma. Damn it, I got her name confused. I almost called her Hilary for a second, the actress. Between Emma, Matt, and Lex, you know, who Lex and her father, you know, Matt, they're down on Earth while Emma's on a mission, but he suffers a stroke, and then he pretty much spends the entirety of the rest of the series in a wheelchair, you know, doing rehab, you know, trying to recuperate while trying to take care of his daughter, who's also acting out a little bit here and there, you know. They are both very worried about Emma, and I think that despite being such a serious thing, such a serious subject matter, you know, having to go to a different planet to try to see if they can be the first humans there to eventually colonize it, you know. It's a 3-year long mission, so they're gonna be a while. So despite that, there is a perfect, I gotta say this right here off the bat, there is a very perfect balance between what's going on up there and what's happening down here, you know. They really balance it out. The family drama, the personal issues with everyone else, and also the actual professional work environment and everything that's going wrong up there, you know, with mission control, you know. There are a lot of different there's a lot of different issues that are tackled in different ways, and I think it was really creative, you know. I think it was very well done, really impressive, and I cannot complain about that at all when it comes to this.
The only thing I've ever known for sure in my life is that I wanted to be on the first mission to Mars.
It's only 3 years.
Okay, I guess I won't miss you.
I'll be right back.
Now, the series actually begins with Emma being unable to resolve a crisis situation to which the crew are responding through testimonies, talking with ground, you know, and everybody has a different version of the story, but it's pretty much, like, you can see that in a general sense, the crew's trust in Emma has been shaken a bit because of her response to it, you know. She ended up making it a little bit worse and almost setting fire to the ship, and there is a little bit of, there's a lot of turmoil within the group, you know, the crew, because they don't really get along too much, but they kind of have to because they have to band together to solve issues, you know, and there's always one problem after the other, and each one seems to be more pulse-pounding than the last, you know. Everything seems to, I'm adjusting myself here because I'm wearing a jacket. I'm wearing I'm wearing a very fancy sweater, my jacket here. This is the fanciest thing I have because, you know, I want to try to look like a space commander too. You know, I got my little black sweater jacket here. It's not a sweater, it's like a jacket, an actual professional jacket, but you know, it's cold, so I'm wearing this also. And so because of her response to this, we see so many different problems, and there are different solutions that are actually very clever. And I gotta say that everybody acted really well, you know, like the cast was so superb. Whoever did the casting deserves an Oscar just for the casting, because I don't think there was one bad egg in the basket, man. Everybody acted so well, even the teenagers, you know, the younger actors. So I think that everything was perfectly well done. You know, there was a very good circle of balance all over the place, and every single crisis had a solution. They were trying to figure them out, you know, and try to help the astronauts, you know, down on the ground. They were giving different ways for them to solve the problems, and I think it was actually really clever in my opinion, you know. And I think that, like, for every major problem, there was a very clever solution that they tried to play out and actually worked. Sometimes it made things worse, but then they would always come back and make them better, you know. There was a water shortage problem, so they had to go outside and remove some ice crystals from space into a bag so they could actually make them into potent water. So it was really, really clever. It was really intelligent, you know. And we are talking about astronauts here, so they are actually very smart. So, I mean, the actors all convinced me so well that they were real astronauts, man, because their knowledge of everything that was going on was so superb. So it was really, really awesome. I have to really give my, this is probably the best series that I've reviewed on this channel, because it is so far my favorite, you know. I really love it so much because I do like space, you know. So I think that it does deserve both 2 thumbs up, you know. And there was also a lot of character development, you know, as we get to know the characters and see them growing, getting to know each other a little bit more, you know. Eventually Misha starts to go blind, you know. He suffers from space blindness, but he's the engineer, so he's the one who most needs his eyes. So and he's the most experienced one, so he gets a little full of himself. His ego is a little inflated. He thinks that he's better than everyone else, you know. And even though he doesn't outright say it, the way that he acts, you know, kind of shows that. But he has a hard shell on the outside with a soft exterior, you know. He has a few issues with his older daughter, which we do see play out in flashbacks, and also him trying to communicate with her, you know. It's a very complicated thing. He abandoned her a long time ago. She was never able to forgive him for it, you know. So each character has their own little sob story, let's say, you know. And Emma's is the one that we most are followed because of her relationship with her husband, who's in ground, and her daughter. But, you know, semantics all around.
我想你，我也特别想你。
Emma's 20 million miles from the people she loves. She needs to know that her family's taken care of. I got it covered. Do you?
They need me more than anyone, and I'm not there.
You think you're the only one haunted by the sacrifices you made to get here?
Now, a very interesting subplot that they play around with is this thing involving homosexuality between the 2 characters, where in this sense here, Lou actually has a husband. She's married and she has a son with him, you know, so she really loves her son, but there is no more love between her and her husband, even though because she's Asian and Chinese, there is honor and respect, you know. But she does go on to have an affair with May, who is an NASA translator who works with her, and eventually they find out, you know, and then they actually fire May. They remove her from the project altogether, and they prohibit Lou from having any contact with her, which I think is really stupid. Like, I mean, this is you obviously practicing homophobia to a certain degree, you know, to a very strong degree, but why would you ban her from seeing her just because she had an affair? Like, that's literally none of your business, you know. The way that this played out was actually very irritating, because it's nobody's business, man. You know, like, who cares if she wanted to get with a girl while she was still married, you know? That's like her personal life, you know. So I think that there was a very bad choice of the way that everybody dealt with this here, you know. But the crew did stand by her side. They made it so she could contact May privately, you know, so they could actually talk a little bit, you know. But it was very interesting. Each character, there are many different subplots. Each character has their own, you know. There is Ram, who lost his brother when he was younger to a sickness, you know, but they kind of promised each other that they would go to Mars one day, something like that. So he wants to get to Mars as like a gift to his late brother, you know. So every subplot is interesting, you know. And of course, Emma's subplot is the most dramatic, you know, because her husband is having a stroke. Then her daughter has a bike accident, you know. Everything starts to go to hell back on Earth, you know. And for them, it's hard because of their mother, the wife and mother who's up in space, you know. At one point, she even stops drinking water so she can use it to water the plants that they have, you know, so they can have a little bit of of hope, you know, and a bit of life in the capsule that's not just them. So she starts to ration out water. They have to drink very little water at some point, you know, because of the shortage. So she starts to get dehydrated, you know, and in a very I have to give a nod to the special effects department, not special effects, but the makeup and design department, because they really made her look like she was dehydrated as hell, man. They really made Hilary Swank look like she hadn't drank water in days, and that was really, really good. So I think there were very few special effects. Everything was more practical. So I think everything was very well balanced out as well, you know? Everything was realistic. It wasn't those kinds of space series where it's like Star Wars, where everything is too unrealistic and crazy, over the top, you know? This one was very grounded, you know, down to earth, no pun intended. So I think it was really interesting too, to see also them playing around with the idea of there being multiple affairs. Like Matt was going to have an affair with, I forgot her name, I'm sorry, a former Melissa, who was actually the support crew, and who was also, she's helping out Emma's family, but she wasn't able to participate in the mission because she got pregnant, you know. So yeah, but they kind of toyed with the idea of Matt having an affair with Melissa, you know, as far as I was expecting, you know, but it didn't happen. Lex starts dating a boy too, so a little bit of drama there, the hormones all over the place, but he's a nice enough kid as they come, so I think it was pretty innocent. And he's the one who got her into dirt biking, you know. So there were so many layers to it, so many things, but it's not like Dark, where everything is confusing as hell, you know, the German TV show. It sucked. Everything is easy to follow, but each episode is a little long, you know. Some of them clock in around 45 to 50 or so minutes, so you need to have a little bit of patience to watch it, you know. I don't know why these damn TV series are getting so long, you know. Oh god, I miss the days of sitcoms where everything was just 20 minutes, you know. They could cram a lot of stuff into 20 minutes. Now everything is so long. It's like each episode feels like you're watching a movie, you know? But in this case, it was worth it, you know? I watched it over the period of a few days, and I really liked it a lot. It was definitely worth it, and of course, I recommend it, you know? So if you guys still haven't seen it, I definitely, I suggest you get on that.
We're all scared, but it's about having faith in each other.
Whatever comes next, we can take it on together.
So I would go on to say that this series really definitely deserves more credit than it earned, you know, because it, then again, I don't know how they could renew it for a second season, because eventually they do get to Mars in the final episode. There is a lot of, they even play around. I was talking about affairs a little bit ago, and there was almost a little tease of one between Emma and Rom, you know. He obviously has feelings for her, but she doesn't feel the same way, as far as we are led to believe. But there is a little bit of an issue there, you know, personal issues. But then they eventually do make it to Mars, you know. Everything goes off without a hitch. There's so many clever ideas, like what if the rover that they needed for the supplies actually didn't land, you know, and they used some different technology, seismic waves, to hear that it actually did land, you know. It was really cool, very well done in my opinion. And there is a lot of astronomical technobabble, you know, that I don't want to give too many spoilers, you know. I want you guys to actually see, but there were a few issues that they really expertly crafted through, you know, like they tried to maybe drill a hole in the ship in a certain way so they could get water, but it didn't go really well. I'm not going to spoil the rest of that, just to let you know that happened, you know. Usually these reviews contain spoilers, but I don't want to give too much away because I actually want to incentivize you guys to watch it, you know. But eventually they do land on Mars, but that's obvious, you know. They're not going to freaking die. And then they plant their flag there, they take a photo, you know, they go out exploring, and that's when the series ends. And I would personally love to see a second season, you know, to see how it wraps up, how it finishes, you know. So I would really love to see that. Let me just put my tablet away because it's kind of wobbling here in my leg. It might fall. But that's it, guys. I think that's all I could say. I gave a very pretty okay review. These reviews are getting a little shorter, and my battery is low on the camera, so I have to wrap this up before it completely turns off, you know. But in general, if I could give this show a rating, I would definitely give it a 10 out of 10. You know, everything is perfect. You know, the soundtrack, the casting, everybody acted really well. You know, amazing performances, Oscar-worthy performances, very good story, character development. Everything was fleshed out. You know, the details, very good pace. Nothing was too fast or too slow. The atmosphere, the overall nuance was just amazing, phenomenal, and I love it so much, and I would definitely watch it again. I just don't have the time right now because each episode is very long, okay? But that's it, guys, okay? I could definitely recommend this, and if you've already seen it, let me know what you thought about it, and if you haven't, I hope you watch it after this video, even though I gave you some spoilers. But that's it. I'm gonna wrap this up before my battery dies, okay? So if you happen to like this video, then please give it a like and subscribe to my channel because I release videos every single day, you know, and also hit the notification button to know exactly what time of the day I'm gonna be uploading because I do that completely at random, okay? So yeah, guys, that's it. This is Chazzy signing out for now, and as always, I will see you guys in the next video. Roll the outro screen.
We haven't done anything nearly as dangerous as what we're about to do.
Mom, I love you. Why did you have to do this?
We will return home.
You're my reason to hold on tight.